Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Plan Commission ARB for May 6th. If you have any electronic gadgets, please silence them right at this time. Ryan, we'll start with the roll call.
Steve Lichtenfeld,
Here.
Carolyn Gatis,
Here.
Bridget McAndrew,
Here.
Bob Denlow, Helen DeFate,
Here.
Jamie Waldman,
Here.
David Gibson.
Here. We have the minutes from the previous meeting on April 15th. Are there any changes to it? No. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. We'll move right into new business, and that'll be 8136 University Drive. The applicant is here, I believe. And Ryan?
Just to clarify on that agenda, it should have technically said old business. So this application was presented to the Plan Commission Architecture Review Board on April 15th, but was continued to allow the applicant to consider a series of revisions. The property is located on the south side of University Drive between North Forsyth Boulevard and North Brentwood Boulevard. Property is zoned R2 and is in the Clayton Gardens Urban Design District. The applicant is seeking to demolish the existing two-story home and construct a two-story single-family home with a detached garage. Revisions include the reconfiguration of the rear of the home, including a reduction in the area of the kitchen to make way for a planter bed, and the addition of a rear deck and reconfiguration of the driveway. HVAC units are proposed to be located under the deck and screened with lattice. The applicant is proposing a ribbon drive with grass in the middle to conform with the lot coverage requirements. Staff has provided additional analysis of the design in the architectural staff report, and revisions suggested by staff include removing the ribbon drive within the front yard setbacks so that the grass strip will run just the length of the house. With staff's recommendations, the property would still comply with the maximum lot coverage requirements. The revisions include the addition of 7 Stonehenge yew along the eastern facade. Staff are of the opinion that the Stonehenge yew be replaced with trees from the approved tree list per the requirements of section 409/4090.a.b. As proposed, these trees would conflict with the bays that range in height above the planter bed. Staff are of the opinion that the Stonehenge yew replacements be located farther from the home to avoid conflicting with the bays on the eastern facade. Staff recommend approval with the following conditions of the site plan review. To ensure the future maintenance and operation of the drywall and the ribbon drive, the applicant shall record a deed restriction noting the location and maintenance requirements of the drywall system and the ribbon drive, and shall submit proof of the recording prior to the issuance of the building permit. The Stonehenge yew shall be replaced with a tree from the approved tree list. The Stonehenge yew replacements shall be located away from the building facade as to not conflict with the bays above.
Okay, thank you. This is site plan review first. So who would like to come up and speak to it?
My name is Mike Thompson. I'm the architect for the project. As you can see from last time, we went back and made some changes. Made the one side of the house a little smaller to provide a little bit more clearance for a car backing out of the driveway, plus some driveway turnaround space. Just to lessen the effect of the amount of concrete, we were proposing putting a strip of grass down the middle of the driveway for along the width of the house. I think would be prettier than certainly just a big slab of concrete. So I guess if you had any questions.
I do on the driveway turnaround. I see it's now 17.9 feet from the garage to the planter bed.
Correct.
I wasn't here at the previous meeting. What was it at that point?
It was 17.9 feet to the house. The house was just squared off in the back.
Oh, that, okay. So
And what we were thinking is with a planter bed there, at least the tires can utilize the whole thing without hitting the house. Obviously, if you have 17.9 feet to the house, you can't get your tires that close to the house.
So that's where the kitchen became a little smaller.
Right, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I understand. Okay, and you are okay with the staff recommendations about the grass strip in there
Yes, yes.
and the Stonehenge yew?
Yes.
Okay. And I really had nothing else on the site plan. Bridget?
No, I don't have any additional plans. I'm just glad that you've reduced the size of the house in order to, make room for the deck, because there was just a lot of confusion last time, I think, from the people who are, it sounds like, gonna buy the house, so just
Yeah.
glad you were able to clarify that. And then these colors, well, I guess, never mind, we'll get to the architectural review, but, so that's, otherwise, everything looks fine. Thanks.
Bob?
I'm just glad you took the time to work it out with your clients, and it's good for me.
Ellen?
Yeah, I'm much happier with the driveway. It gives more wiggle room to get in and out. Is the planter that sort of replaces that piece of kitchen, is that going to be low enough so that the from the wheels of the car back can overhang it if need be?
Yes, I just had intended where the driveway would stop there and it would be
Yeah,
dirt, it would be a
paving.
planter. It wouldn't be a raised planter or anything like
Okay.
that, right?
Yeah, no, that does help. Every inch helps
Oh,
with that.
yes.
And especially when you get bad weather, and you're trying to maneuver. Yeah, I agree with the staff recommendation of just doing the grass strip in the driveway along the house. Minimizing that, because it's a problem to get grass to grow there. And in the winter time, shoveling becomes an issue. You're trying to not kill the grass, but do you know where exactly it is under a blanket of snow? And we do get snow once
Yep.
in a while. So experience has taught me that cars kill grass, and snow plows or snow blowers will do the same. So minimize it, and the deck looks good. You've done a good job.
Oh, thank you.
Jamie?
I'm in agreement with everybody. I'm happy you guys made the house a little bit smaller to give them some outdoor space. I think for the longevity of even future homeowners, that was a good choice.
Okay, thank you.
Carolyn?
Yeah, what are you guys considering to replace the U? I would like to hear what it is before I say, okay,
I'm sorry, to replace what?
the Stonehenge U will be replaced with a tree from the approved tree list. What are you considering replacing it with?
I would need to talk to my landscaper, I guess, as far as that.
Okay,
Well, Carolyn, we can make that part of the recommendation
Okay.
that it'll have to be approved by staff.
well, it's in there already, but I
Yeah.
just wanted to know what they were thinking. I just, I mean, yeah. And the grass strip too, I have concerns with that. It probably will just be mud over time. But
I might comment to that. I have a similar thing at my house, but now mine's 30 inches wide kind of thing, and it's a sidewalk to a 3-lane street at a stoplight. It certainly gets a lot more salt and snow thrown on it from the snow plows than this.
to
will
get more
certainly-
sun,
Oh, yes. Yeah, mine has no.
yeah,
Because there's overhead power lines, has no shade at all, kind of thing. So
yeah.
I was told by a couple of people that, if you see it drying out, you may have to put a little more water on that. I never have had to, but I certainly am willing to if I would see it dry out, sir.
Yeah, I'm just worried that the one that you're showing doesn't get the same amount of sun. That's all. But other than that, nope, no issues.
Okay, David?
No questions or comments?
Okay. Any questions from anyone in the audience? Sure. Please come up, give us your name and address and speak into the microphone.
Certainly. Hi, my name is Phil Jarmissions. My wife, Kay Reddington. We're at 8137 Westmoreland, and we're the neighbors directly to the rear of the property. And I actually just have a question, which I think we may have answered earlier, which is we couldn't tell from the plan, what was the distance from the back of the deck to the rear line of the property and whether that conformed to the required setback in the backyard?
Do we have a dimension? Mike, maybe you can answer that.
I believe we're roughly 43 feet to the back of the house and the deck is 12 feet wide. So
Oh.
that'd be
31.
31 feet to the deck, yeah.
Great. And I'm assuming that would comply with the required setback from the rear property line?
Yes, I believe it does.
30 feet.
Mhm.
Perfect. Okay, well, that was our question about the site. A garage structure of the
Please
architecture.
come to the microphone.
We also have a question about the design of the garage. Would that be in the architectural review? Okay, cool. I think that's our question on the site plan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? No hands up. Okay. Hey, Mike, there are 4 staff recommendations. Are you in agreement with all of them?
The replacing of the tree and
Yeah, Ryan did read them in the
Oh.
beginning.
yes, the ones that he read, yes, we are.
The only thing I would suggest is that the replacement for the Stonehenge U will be approved by staff. So
Okay.
you don't have to come back to us.
Right, okay, thank you.
Okay? Do we have a recommendation?
I'll make a motion, but I also do have one more comment. For the trees that you're trying to save, do you have I see one note for tree protection fencing. Do you have that on every instance of the trees to remain?
I mean, we certainly would, yes.
Okay, I think we need to add that item. If it's not obvious. I only saw one note when I looked at it, but I might be mistaken. So anybody else, if they saw anything different.
So Carolyn, what you're saying is tree protection for all existing trees to remain?
Yes. I think that they're regrading in areas that to me is like, oh, well, good luck with that. Some of those trees will not make it. And I think we need to have tree protection fencing around them to make sure that they do remain.
Okay.
I can make
Any,
a motion.
Go ahead.
Okay. I make a motion to approve with the staff recommended conditions 1, 2, 3, and 4 with the addition of the actual decision for the species of tree be approved by staff from the approved list. And then also a number 5, that there be tree protection fencing before any construction occurs on the project.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? Okay. We'll move on. So let's go back to Ryan for the architectural review.
Since the previous meeting, the applicant has made modifications to the home's exterior. The new home would be constructed primarily of brick painted white with gray stone accents. Windows are proposed to be black with gray stone banding. Stucco board painted white is proposed for a portion of the east facade and rear facade. The detached garage would be constructed of matching brick and will feature identical accents to the home. A wood deck with an aluminum railing is proposed at the rear of the home. The trash enclosure is proposed to be a 6-foot tall white fence made of a composite material. Composite materials are permitted if reflecting a wood texture, but the material has not been specified. Staff are of the opinion that the composite should be required to resemble a wood texture. The revised plan includes the reduction of the size of the kitchen, the addition of a rear deck, and the reconfiguration of the rear of the driveway to create additional turning room for vehicles attempting to enter and exit the garage. Staff are of the opinion that these revisions address the concerns expressed by the Plan Commission and Architectural Review Board at the previous meeting, but result in the property being slightly over the maximum coverage of the lot. With support from staff, the plans were further revised to include a ribbon driveway. Ribbon driveways are typically not permitted unless approved by the Architectural Review Board, and none currently exist on University Drive. The applicant is proposing the ribbon drive to run the full length of the drive from the front property line to the rear of the home. If revised to remove the ribbon from the front yard setback, staff measure the impervious coverage to be 54.7%. Seeing that the ribbon drive would allow the applicant to maintain the revisions to the rear yard, and that removal of the front yard section of the ribbon would not result in the property exceeding coverage, staff are of the opinion that the use of the ribbon drive would not change the character of the front setbacks in the neighborhood and result in a better product than if the rear yard revisions were reversed. Staff recommend approval with the following conditions: that the composite screening for the trash enclosure shall reflect a wooden texture, and two, that the ribbon drive shall be revised to eliminate the ribbon from the front yard setback.
Okay, thank you.
We are certainly in agreement to that, yes. It would be a wood texture on the composite. The deck would also be a composite. It will be a darker color. But yeah, the white composite fence and white screening underneath the deck for the mechanical units.
Okay,
The new rendering that I think you all have, yes, does reflect the colors, the new colors that the homeowner desired.
Are these the colors?
Yes. The one we had submitted before was before they had an owner. I'm not sure who exactly picked those out, but so now that we have an owner and this is the colors that they want.
I think the front facade of this house is beautiful. It has a historic nature, but also some contemporary feel to it also. The question, the windows have a stone surround. Is that natural stone or man-made stone?
Typically in the past, we've used a natural stone.
Good,
Natural stone, yes. Sorry.
sounds good. And what I haven't really looked at is the ground floor really only like one step above grade?
Well, I believe it's one step up to the small front porch there, and then it's one step up to the door.
Into the house.
So you'd actually be two steps up.
I commend you for doing that. We've seen many houses that are raised up much higher, which makes the overall appearance of the house towering over the neighbors. You're a little higher, but
Yes.
certainly not like what we've seen before. So I think it looks very good. I'll make a comment on the left side, I believe it is. The windows seem a little chaotic. There's so many of different sizes. Yeah, the left elevation. It really won't be seen from the street, but there's a lot going on there.
Yes, there are a lot of windows there on that side, yes.
It seems very different from the three other sides, but it fits. I understand why the bays are there and where they protrude, but it was just a comment. It has no bearing on the roof.
Okay.
But let's go around. Bridget?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really pretty house. I was just curious. I'm not, I'm the aldermanic representative on the commission, so I don't really have any background, but it seems strange that usually I don't think, I mean, at least houses that I've seen, the HVAC units aren't usually under the deck. Is that normal? I just wonder if it's coming to be serviced, do people like crawl under decks to service them?
It would, you'd have two doors.
Yeah.
The deck is about 4 feet off the ground.
Okay,
Now
there's
you will,
enough
you will
clearance.
have to get down about 3 feet tall in order to get underneath there. It's mechanical units. If you've seen mini split units,
Yeah.
they essentially, they blow sideways instead of blowing up like a normal mechanical unit. At 8140 Kingsbury, Mike owned for a while, Mike Manlin. He at first did it there, kind of thing, to just because he didn't want to look at the mechanical unit, so he stuck them under his deck. So,
Okay.
yeah,
They're
which
mini splits though, both of them, or you say?
they're similar to that. They're full blown
But
mechanical.
they're like
unit,
that
but-
size though. They don't go
But,
up, they go.
but
down.
right, yes,
Got
they,
it.
they
Okay.
can fit under the deck, yeah.
Okay, I was just curious. It just seemed a little unusual to me. So, but other than that, it's a very pretty house.
Bob?
I've seen air conditioning condensers underneath a deck, but I would only say that when they're turned up, when they're running, they could be noisy. You have somebody barbecuing on top of the deck, that's it. With regard to, but it's not a big issue.
That's the negative, yeah.
With regard to the design, I love the slope line of that protruding roof above, starting above the front door. And I love the accent colors you've used. I mean, just terrific. I'm looking at what the buildings look like on either side of it, and this is definitely the winner, you know, in design. So you did a nice job.
Thank you.
Ellen?
I just want to confirm the bay from the master bedroom closet and shower or tub, that hangs out further than the bay below.
Yes.
Good, I like that.
Yes. The fireplace, I
Yeah.
believe is a foot out from the brick, and that is, be 2'4", so it hangs out another foot roughly. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I'm glad you thought of that detail and just didn't do one kind of strange bay.
Oh, there you go. Yes. Uh-huh.
I do have a question on the rear elevation of the garage. You have balcony, like Juliet balcony windows, and then large windows below.
Yeah, we were essentially matching the front of the garage with the doors, and it's just a storage area up there, so it's not like anybody's living there, but and of course, it's so short, we couldn't use doors, we have windows that do that, but just for the look of it, I know there's not a lot to look at, there's only 5 feet to the property line, but just for the overall look of the garage.
Okay, no, I find it unusual because usually that elevation is just blank. No, nobody will see it. It's
Gotcha.
kind of the
Mhm.
back of things. So, no, I'm fine with it. That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
Jamie?
I really like the design too. I like that the front elevation a lot. I like that it's not symmetrical. A lot of these homes now are very symmetrical, so I like what you did there. I did have a question on the garage too, just what color the garage doors were gonna be?
Guess I hadn't really considered that. I would think we'd go with more of the brick color to it with a black on the frame of the garage.
Okay, so just match the same tone as the brick.
Right, correct.
And then what about the Juliet balcony?
It'd be a black aluminum rail.
Okay,
And then a black sash on the windows, yeah.
yeah, looks good though.
Thanks.
Carolyn?
Yeah, so the product for the actual brick is a concrete paver? Or what exactly is the product? Because it's probably, I don't think you're painting the brick white, right? Or gray? Oops, I can't hear somebody.
Oh, yes, actually, we have a sample of the brick here, so.
Okay, just describe since I'm not
It
physically there.
comes, it comes white, with a white face on it.
Okay.
I haven't talked to them, but I'm not sure how they get that white face, if it's baked on, how
No,
it's.
I know. I kind of just wanted to know why. Why not just be brick?
Oh, mostly just because the homeowners want this color.
Okay. I just feel like the stone would really pop out if it was actual brick in the background. Right now, looking at the rendering, it just seems all a different value of hue. Whereas if it was actual brick, your limestone or whatever the material is for the accents would really pop. Yeah. Imagine that red and then everything else limestone, all of your details. I don't know. I guess I'm coming from the house that looks almost like in Clayton. But I don't know. I just always am curious. So the entire house will be that color, not just the
Yes,
facade. Okay.
yes.
Okay. I have
I'd say normally I would agree with you. Absolutely. This certainly sounds reasonable. I know on Mike Manlin's house at 8140 Kingsbury, if
uh-huh.
anybody knows that, we had the red brick and the stone on it. Just like what you're talking about, the people that bought it from him painted it white. I have to say, I like it a little bit better painted white, which maybe doesn't make
think
sense,
that's-
but I do like
Yeah.
it.
I feel like that's a trend that'll change. But no, it's fine. That's a personal taste. I can't say that it's good or bad. I just literally don't. It's like making wood look like brick or something. You know what I mean? It's like let brick be brick. So I'm being an Adolf Loos fan here and not ornamenting buildings to fit my aesthetic or whatever. I just want the material to look like the material it was born to be. And that's a personal taste. So it doesn't, I'll stop talking. I have no issues. I think I agree with everybody else that the little slope in the facade there is really lovely. Yeah, I think the details are very nice. I want to know what's up in the window at the top there. That
Oh, in the
little
attic?
square, like the
It-
Amityville horror window.
It is a fake window, okay, so yes.
Oh, it's fake?
Well, it's a window, it's just a window to an attic, yes, so
Well, that might help the
if
attic.
you're up in the attic, I guess you can look out, sure.
Well, I think it might help with ventilation in our summers. So that's actually funny. Nope, I have nothing else.
David,
No questions or comments?
Mike, a couple other questions. What is the material on the facade that looks like a gray color? On the
On the bays? Yes.
on the fascia? You know, the curved part that comes down, the peak over the roof?
Yes, normally it's an aluminum fascia, aluminum clad.
So it'll be pre-painted?
Yes, yes.
And what is the floor to ceiling height on each floor?
It's a 10-foot first floor and a 9-foot second floor.
Great. I think it looks good. You indicated you're in agreement with the staff recommendation for screening the trash enclosure,
Yes. Mhm.
and the ribbon drive shall be revised to eliminate the ribbon from the front yard setback.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think we added anything else, did we? No. Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a
Oh,
motion to,
sorry. Yeah,
oops,
before we go, come on back.
oh, sorry.
Phil Mission from 8137 Westmoreland, my wife Kay Reddington. We're once again the neighbors in the rear of the property. We had a request about the design of the rear of the garage. I was glad the questions had come up from the board. We had actually done a review of garages in the neighborhood and how the neighbors behind them, how their backyards felt. And there are both garages that have windows on the second story and garages that don't. Almost all of them are ornamental, just like this one, as opposed to having living spaces. And it was our opinion that both the landscaping and the privacy and the feel of the backyards were nicer when the second story was just a solid facade and did not have a window. And our request was that the plan be changed so that the second story would just be a solid facade as opposed to having a window in it. In the garage, second story of the garage.
But you have no problem with the first level window in the
That's correct.
garage.
Yes, because it's near a fence line, et cetera. We understand that actually has practical value of bringing light into the garage as they're driving in. But it's not a habitable space on the second floor. It's just an ornamental window, and having it at that height peering down, when we looked at other backyards in the neighborhood, makes it more difficult to landscape against the facade and changes the feeling of privacy. Even though it's a fake window, looking down on people's backyards. Since it hadn't.
Is someone speaking? Not into a
Oh, yes.
microphone?
Please come up to the,
Okay.
The garage is.
speaking to the microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. The garage is only 5 feet from our fence line and it's above the fence line. It looks directly down into our backyard and it creates a feeling of a lack of privacy when there's a window that's that close looking down into our. So, and aesthetically, the other houses in the neighborhood with it, we felt looked better, but it would materially affect our sense of privacy.
I could certainly understand that if it were an occupied space. But I think we understand it's a storage loft.
Yes, it's just, sorry, it's storage. I just to say that, I'm sure Mike Manlin would be fine with not doing the window up there. We initially just put it on just to have it, to decorate it up like the front of the garage is, but, if you prefer to not have it, yeah, that wouldn't, like I said, it wouldn't affect the light in the actual garage. It is just a storage area up there.
We're the only people that see it anyway. And it would be cheaper for the owners if they did.
We don't worry about that here. Well, Mike, if you're saying it could be deleted with no problem, I guess to be neighborly, that would be the right thing to do.
Yes, we could delete it, and I would think we'd probably just leave the trim like it is on the back there, so it wouldn't. Still have some character to it, so.
Could
Yeah.
you do something that was ventilation related that wasn't a true window, but something that allows ventilation up there? I mean, I feel like St. Louis is, I'm from the East Coast, so I'm used to cold. And to me, I feel like any attic in any capacity is gonna get super, super hot. Can you do something that's not the appearance of a window, but could be a ventilation thing? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
We could do a vent with maybe shutters on either side of it, something like that.
Yeah, something that's not
Just a
peering down on the
vent there
neighbors,
would
but something that
enable
still
all-
allows airflow. Is I guess.
Yep, that's possible, yes.
Well, but I mean, you don't need to add something if it's not, I mean, if it's not gonna be a livable space and it's
Right,
just
it's-
storage, and I mean, you can always open the garage door for ventilation,
And
so
we
I
have-
don't, I
and we
mean,
have vents, of course, all around.
right, so I mean, I don't,
Code requirement on vents, yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Our
Um,
preference would be a more solid facade. Certainly if I can understand what the usual small vents, but to put shutters around it, we'd for the least ornamentation on a vent if it was required.
If I could say something, I could respect what you're saying, but if I was in your house, aesthetically, I think I'd like to look at a window with the black railings there than just a blank wall.
When there's a window, it never has the same beautiful effect of the green against.
Whatever you guys, whatever the owner would like to do, I respect what you say. But it's, from my perspective, it's your call.
I would go back to, I mean, I would check with the owners. I seriously doubt they would have any problem with, you know, whether or not there's a window from their storage area on the back of the garage, because of course there's already one to the front of the garage, so. Sure, they would be okay with it either way.
Okay.
Thank you. I would defer to you speaking with the owner.
Correct.
I have no problem with or without that upper level window on the back side of the garage.
Okay.
If there's any disagreement, we can discuss that further.
Fine.
Okay, were there any other hands up? No.
Mike, would you be able to contact the neighbors once you're able to kind of, just so they know, rather than wait for the garage to get built? I'm sure they'd appreciate knowing one way or another what happens.
Yes, we could, yes.
Okay, so maybe you can
We'll be sure
provide
we
the
get their
contact
address, yeah.
information.
Yeah,
That way they
contact
don't
it.
have to wait until, find out if the garage as it goes up, whether there'll be a window there or not.
Gotcha, okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, we have the staff recommendations that you agree to. Do we have a motion?
Are we adding a motion to eliminate those windows or not?
No,
No.
No, we're not. We're going
Okay.
to leave that up to the architect and the owner.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion to approve with staff recommendations then.
second,
All in favor?
I,
And will you be going for a building permit?
As soon as I get the drawings done. I'm sure I'm gonna get to ask that, if not tonight, first thing tomorrow morning. So yes,
Fair enough.
but
Well, it's a good looking house. Hope the new owners will enjoy it. And if they're new to Clayton, we welcome them.
thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. That's the end of the formal meeting. Kami, any comments?
nothing further,
Hey, Helen,
nothing.
Bob,
nothing.
Bridget,
Nope, nothing.
Carolyn,
No, but what's coming up? Do we have anything exciting coming up?
we'll find out.
Okay,
David?
Nothing tonight.
Okay, Ryan?
There's a few projects rolling around out there, but nothing we're for sure of for the next meeting. Depends on whether they get the stuff back to us that we need.
That really didn't tell us much.
No.
Thank you. Anna?
I mean, out of the ones that could, there isn't anything. We don't have any other planning developments or anything like that in the works, so just smaller stuff.
If I could just say, I won't be here for the next two hearings. I'll be out of the country. Okay.
Yeah, the only thing that we have coming up that you'll miss is is the comprehensive plan adoption, so.
Yeah, do we have a schedule on that?
Yep, you'll be getting a draft probably tomorrow.
Oh, okay, great.
cool.
Stephanie?
Steve,
tonight. Thank you.
where did you go on your trip?
The Netherlands, Belgium, and
Oh.
London.
Wow. Lovely.
Nice.
Was she surprised?
Yes,
Aw, I love that.
Did she come back?
yes.
Oh, that sounded eerie.
Those are such wonderful places, you know.
Where are you going? You said you're not going to be around for the next
I'll
two.
be in San Francisco in France.
Oh, two of my
Um,
favorite places in the entire world. Very good.
Anna, can I just ask too, like procedurally, if we get drafts of the like the plan, so there's not changes, like, would you anticipate changes being made at the plan commission meeting? Because are we
So at this
potentially?
point, the revised draft is based on, so we didn't, we sent out the original draft to the board and to this committee and to the steering committee. We've made revised changes based on any comments we received from anybody, including the public as well.
Yeah.
So at this point, there haven't been, other than a couple of the land use changes, there haven't been any substantial comments. So unless all of a sudden you all have a bunch of comments that you haven't been voicing earlier in the process, I don't anticipate anything really significant changing.
So is potentially May 20th the meeting where we would potentially adopt it formally?
Right, yeah,
Okay.
I would, if you have more substantial comments, would love to give the consultant a heads up to those coming and not just voicing them in the middle of the meeting. Because otherwise we're prepared to have it presented to you for adoption.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other comments? No? Then we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.